There is no shortage of elite young strikers in European football. Erling Haaland, Victor Osimhen and Kylian Mbappe are all scoring goals in the dozens and putting fear into defences all over the continent. However, as they begin to approach their mid-20s, the 2022-2023 football season gave us a glimpse of the new generation of young strikers. And a name on everyone's lips is Folarin Balogun. The American-born striker is one of the hottest prospects on the planet, having enjoyed a stellar rise in the last 12 months and earning a first call-up to the USMNT. So how did Folarin Balogun become one of Europe's most prolific youngsters? This is the story of American football's next superstar. Balogun was born in New York City on July 3, 2001 to Nigerian parents. He and his family stayed in New York till he was 2 years old, when they moved to London. At this age, he had already started showing a real interest in football and signed for Sunday League side Aldersbrook. He initially played for them as a centre-back before he transitioned into a winger, where he played for most of his childhood. At age 8, he began to catch the attention of bigger clubs and even had a trial with Tottenham Hotspur. Balogun scored the winning goal in a final for Aldersbrook, with scouts from many top clubs watching, including Tottenham's North London rivals Arsenal. Arsenal offered the attacker a 6-week trial and was so impressed with his skills that they decided to sign him, beating Tottenham to his signature. The youngster joined Arsenal's Hale End Academy at the age of 9 and immediately impressed his new coaches. Balogun rose through the youth ranks at Arsenal, playing in different positions as a winger, number 10 and striker. By the age of 15, he had developed a keen eye for goal and impressive shooting ability, the perfect skill set for a striker. He got promoted to Arsenal's under-18 squad, where he began to turn more heads towards his talent. His first season in the under-18 Premier League produced 9 goals and 3 assists in just 14 games. Balogun's fine form in the academy earned him regular call-ups to the England youth teams. He made 4 appearances at the 2018 Under-17 European Championships, but England lost in the semi-finals to the Netherlands. In his second season playing under-18 football, Balogun scored an outstanding 25 goals and provided 4 assists in 19 games, including a game where he scored 4 goals against Reading. Arsenal and his coaches were in agreement that he was clearly too good for the under-18s, and that's when he was promoted to the under-21s to compete in PL2. But raising the level of opposition did little to slow him down in front of goal. In his first season with the under-21s, he scored 10 goals and provided 4 assists in 15 games. Ahead of his second season with the under-21s, Balogun was named team captain and recorded 9 goals and 3 assists in 18 games that season. His performance at youth level didn't go unnoticed by the Arsenal hierarchy, and he was eventually called up to train with the Arsenal senior team by head coach Mikel Arteta. On the 29th of October 2020, Balogun made his senior debut for Arsenal, playing 16 minutes against Dundalk in the Europa League. And a month later he scored his first goal in senior football against Molde. He made 5 appearances for the first team in the 2020-2021 season, and at the end of the year, after some previous contract disagreements, Arsenal and Balogun agreed terms on a new long-term contract. At the start of the 21-22 season, Balogun was part of the senior squad and was given a start in Arsenal's first Premier League game against Brentford, but the striker had little impact on the game, touching the ball just 14 times before being substituted after 53 minutes. A few weeks later, Balogun would return to play in PL2 as head coach Mikel Arteta preferred senior strikers Aubameyang and Lacazette. It was a setback for the youngster, but he refound his scoring touch in the youth team, netting 13 times and providing 3 assists in 11 games. By January 2022, with no prospect of senior football at Arsenal and his level too good for the PL2, Balogun requested a loan move in search of more first-team opportunities. Later that month, he completed a loan move to Championship club Middlesbrough, where he began to get more first-team games. But like most young players, his transition from youth football to the senior game wasn't as smooth as he'd hoped. Balogun scored just 3 goals and provided 3 assists in 18 games for Middlesbrough. Not the best stats for a striker looking to impress his parent club, but he still showed flashes of the quality that made him so highly rated at Arsenal. At the start of the 22-23 season, despite the exits of senior strikers Aubameyang and Lacazette, Arsenal and head coach Mikel Arteta decided Balogun was not ready for the Arsenal first team. opting instead to stick with Eddie Nketiah and new signing Gabriel Jesus. Meanwhile, Balogun joined League One side Stade Reims. The youngster's move to Reims was initially met with a lot of skepticism, because young English players going abroad to develop was rare, and a loan to the Championship was seen as the best way to get youngsters prepared for Premier League football. But Balogun felt he was ready for top-flight football, so he chose a move to France over the second tier in England, and his choice proved to be the right one, as he dominated in France. Balogun wasted no time announcing himself to Reims fans, as he scored in his first 3 games for the club. He scored 15 goals in his first 22 League One games, putting him in a hotly contested Golden Boot race with Kylian Mbappe and Jonathan David. This included an iconic stoppage time equaliser against PSG and his first senior hat-trick against Lorient in February 2023. At the age of 21, the season he was having put him on the radar of most top clubs in Europe, with Reims president Jean-Pierre Calliot even ruling out the possibility of a permanent transfer at the end of the season because of the interest in him from parent club Arsenal and other Champions League clubs. Balogun finished the season with 21 goals and 3 assists in 37 League One games, helping Stade Reims finish mid-table. His goal tally also paced him 4th place in the Golden Boot race, as his rivals finished the season stronger in front of goal. His excellent form didn't just garner interest at club level but also internationally. Towards the end of the season, he was called up to represent England's under-21 team but declined. This created a media frenzy, with many believing he felt he was ready to play for the senior team of England. And the media frenzy was just beginning. A few days later, Balogun would post a picture confirming he was in Orlando, Florida, which was where the USMNT were training for the Nations League games. Was it a coincidence, or was he about to choose the country of his birth over representing England? US fans swarmed his social media asking the youngster to make the switch, and he even had dinner in Florida with senior USMNT players like Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, and Yunus Musa. Since the US fans, staff and players made him feel so appreciated, Balogun decided it would be best to represent the USMNT over England, who hadn't shown the same enthusiasm towards his involvement with the first team squad. So, on May 16, 2023, Balogun filed for a switch and completed his move to the USMNT. Just a few weeks later, with the League One season over, he was called up to represent the USMNT and started the game against Mexico. Although he didn't score, he had a good game as a striker in an intense match that saw 4 red cards and numerous brawls between the players. What a game to make your debut for the national team. His good performance against Mexico earned him another start in the Nations League final against Canada, and he scored the second goal in a 2-0 for the US. This meant that his first trophy with the USMNT came in just his second game, and this was also the first trophy of his career. After choosing to play for Reims over playing in the Championship and choosing to represent the USMNT, it's safe to say that Balogun's decision-making is just as good as his goal-scoring skills. After his incredible season at Stade Reims and winning his first trophy with the US, Balogun returned to Arsenal. But despite taking part in pre-season with the Gunners, he never really looked like staying at the club, as he wanted an important role with the team. But Mikel Arteta retained confidence in Gabriel Jesus. Balogun was linked to moves to many of Europe's top clubs like Chelsea, Inter Milan and RB Leipzig. But he decided to return to League One, where he had a lot of success in the previous season. And on August 30th, 2023, French giants Monaco announced the signing of Balogun for a fee of $32 million. The move brought an end to a successful spell at Arsenal, where he rose through the youth ranks and developed into a lethal striker. With a new club and his international allegiances now settled, the future is looking bright for Balogun. And at Monaco, he's set to take his game to another level and achieve his dream of being one of the best strikers in world football. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.